Hey guys, this is Jeff with voiceapps.com. Today I'm going to show you a neat feature of our platform called slots. Slots allow you to actually take input from the user and capture it and save it and then use it later. So for example, if you ask a user for their name, you can then store that name in a variable, and then you can reuse that name later on, and you can respond to them by their name and make it a more personalized skill. So let's get started. For this demo, I'm going to create a new project, and we're going to create a neat little game called Drag Race today. So I'm going to call it Drag Race. I'm going to put it in the games category, and we're going to make it for US English. I'm going to choose a project icon, and I'll choose this one. And then this is going to be our Drag Race demo. Go ahead and click Create, and that'll create our new skill, our new project. And then I'll click on it to bring up the editor. For this demo, we don't need our help or goodbye intent, so I'll just get rid of those. And that'll leave us with our welcome intent. Okay, so when the user opens our skill, we want to actually welcome them. So we'll click on the Responses tab, add a new response group, and then say, welcome to the Alexa Drag Race. What are the names of the two racers? Okay, so we've asked them, we've welcomed them, and then we've asked them for the names of the racers. So we need to capture those racer names. So let's add a new intent because the user is actually going to say something. This intent is going to be activated by what the user says. And let's go ahead and give it a name. We'll call it Racers, and give it a description. This will capture the racer names. Okay. And so the intent is going to be triggered by what the user says. So normally I would just type in the text that the user might say to activate this intent. But I can do something special here. I can put a single curly bracket and put a variable name like racer1. And what will happen is voice apps will actually capture that if I hit enter, and it will create a special box down here for slots, and it'll capture the racer1 that I entered up here. So I can, by default, it's a custom slot, which means I can enter values for the slot. So let's say I had colors, for example, that I was capturing. So I might enter I would have a custom slot, and I would enter all the colors that I wanted them to be able to say in this box. Amazon gives us a whole bunch of built-in slot types that we can also use to kind of make our life easier. And we've incorporated those in here. So you can see we have dates and durations and actors and airlines and authors and all kinds of things in here. There's almost 100 different slot types that we can use. For this particular skill, we're going to just capture the US first name. So I'm going to change this and select US first name. And what that'll do is tell Alexa that we are trying to capture a US first name, and that they have thousands of names in their database, and they'll try to match up what we say to a first name and then capture that slot for us. Well, we actually asked for two names. What are the two names? So let's add to our intent here, and let's say Racer1 and Racer2, and give it two variables. And when I hit enter, Racer2 gets added down here, and I can go ahead and choose US first name for that as well. So now, we're able to capture Racer1 and Racer2. Now, the user might also say other things. So if we want to capture the different ways that a user might say, might give us their two racer names, we can say, again, curly bracket, single curly bracket, Racer1 is racing against Racer2, for example. And we could enter more of those. I'm just giving a demo here, a sample here, so that you can see what we might want to do. Okay, and then as usual, this intent is going to be activated by the welcome block. And that'll draw our line and connect our two blocks here. Okay, so now when the user says racer1 and racer2 and gives us the name, we now want to give them a response and respond to them. And in this case, we're actually going to start the race. So let's go ahead and add a new response group. And here we're going to say, we're going to actually use our variables. So we captured the variable names racer1 and racer2. So here I want to actually use the variables. And to do that, you use two curly braces surrounding the variable name. So we'll say racer1 is racing against, again, double curly brackets, racer2. Okay? And so now we'll have a simple response. And then let's actually start the race. So in order to do that, we're going to put some audio in here. And so I'm going to add a short audio block here. So I'm just going to paste in a URL that I have saved, which is our car race. And so then after our car race, we're going to add another Alexa response here. So let's go ahead and click Alexa response and add another one. And so after our car race, we want to actually give a random winner. So what we're going to do is say, again, double curly brackets, racer1 wins, actually let's say won this time. Okay, and then we'll create another one, racer2, again, double curly brackets, won this time. And so Voice Apps is going to choose randomly between those two. So it'll sometimes choose racer1 won this one and racer2 won this one. So again, what's happening here is that racer1, these double curly bracket racer1 and double curly bracket racer2 is going to be replaced by the value that the user said and we captured over here on the activation tab. So we said racer1 is our variable name and racer2. So the user might say Bill and Sam, and racer1 would become Bill and racer2 would become Sam. And then over here on the responses page, the responses tab, racer1 would be replaced with Bill and racer2 would be replaced with Sam. Okay? And so now either Bill or Sam or racer1 or racer2 is going to win the race. So let's play another audio file here. And in this case, we're going to play, just change this to crowd cheering. Okay? And then we're going to change the next action. Instead of waiting for the user, we're going to just go ahead and end the session. All right, well, let's test it and see how we're doing. So I'll go ahead and open up my test window and just click in the box and hit enter.
Welcome to the Alexa Drag Race. What are the names of the two racers?
Okay, and I'll just say Bill and Sam.
Bill is racing against Sam.
Great, and our racers are off and racing.
Bill won this time.
All right, way to go, Bill. So as you can see, using slots is really easy. They translate to variables. Variables are something we'll actually have a separate video on to go into more detail with variables. But slots you can capture on your activation tab and just enter single curly brackets with the name of your variable within those brackets. And then when you want to use it later on, and you can use it anytime later on, so you don't have to use it just in this intent. You can use it in later intents. This variable is set for your skill. In fact, you can store it, and again, we'll talk about that in the variables lesson, but you can store that and use it in future sessions when the user comes back. So you can welcome them back by name, for example. So this has been a quick demo on slots, and we'll see you at voiceapps.com. Thanks very much.